Hello everyone, this is going to be a quick guide on how to add expanded skins beyond the 8 default slots. This is a new feature supported by the most recent version of Acropolis, so update and you'll be good to go. We're going to add a skin slot to Kazuya today. I've done it for a few other characters, like Lucario here has 9 slots. Meta Knight has 9 slots, and we'll do the same with Kazuya. Important to note that Kazuya and other characters like Sephiroth and the gendered characters like Robin and Corrin have different slots for different variations of their character. But Kazuya has the normal base version, and then he has the coat version. So we'll need to match that up with the various slots, and we'll go over that. But that's important to keep in mind. You can't just throw these over any other slot. So the skin we're adding is going to go over the base slot for Kazuya, and let's go ahead and begin that process. This is the first step, downloading the skin. We've got a folder for this video we'll use. Save that. Go ahead and extract it. Actually, we'll right click, extract to Boros so it has its own folder. To remove these 2 files. These aren't necessary. You won't find these in every skin file, but the info and preview files are for the information displayed inside of Mod Manager. So we'll go to the fighter, demon, model, body, and we'll change this 00 folder to 08. This is the same process for any skin. You're going to need to change the individual character folders and the UI folders and sound, if it's present, to match that of the slot you wish to add it to. We won't need the series icon. We'll delete that. And we will not need CHARA 5 and CHARA 7, as that makes changes to the character select screen. You won't find those in every mod either. We'll do slow double clicks to change the CHARA files, the file names. We do not change the names of these folders, just their contents. And that's it for Kazuya. We've changed the name of his fighter folder as well as the UI. If there was a sound folder, we would change that too. I have another Boros skin, the blue variation, so I just wanted to make sure that that was named appropriately so I can tell what it is later. With that done, we're going to go over to the CSK site for the config file generation. You'll find this in the description, Coolsonickirby.com. And here you'll see a list of directories. It's going to look like this when you first arrive. And we're going to clear our current config because I was doing some work here. I don't want it to interfere with what we're doing now. So when we view the current config, it's going to be blank aside from these entries. That's what it should look like when we're starting. We're going to go to load directory, and we'll navigate over to our Kazuya skin that we just finished renaming, the Kazuya Boros White. and select folder. Make sure you've selected the root folder of the skin. Click View Files, and if there was a config file that accompanied the skin, you would click Load Config and point to that config file. You would also need to modify the config file so that any names of or any references to the slot is updated to the slot you wish to change it to. Just to give you an example of that, if your skin came with a slot, a config file, like this Meta Knight skin here, you'll right click and edit with Notepad++ or Notepad. Highlight the, in Notepad++ at least, you can highlight the value you wish to change, Control F, replace, and it will find CO5 and we'll tell it to change it to CO8, and then click Replace All, and the proper slot is now identified here. So that's how you would do that if there was a config file. And then you would simply click Load Config and point to that before proceeding with this step. So now that we have loaded our directory for this mod, we're going to go to Fighter, and we are going to go to Daemon, because that's the internal name for Kazuya. This list uses the internal names for each character. If you're not sure what your character's internal name is, you can go to the skin folder of your skin and browse down to the fighter folder, and that will be your internal character name. So right click your character and click Add Slot to Fighter folder. It's going to ask for the base slot. Now keep in mind, this is important because if your character has variations with their skin, such as Kazuya, who has a base and a coat variation, you need to point to the correct variation. If this was a coat skin, then I would choose CO1 so that it would pull resources from the coat skin. But because this mod works over the base slot, we're going to choose 00. And we now need to enter the slot we are going to put this on, which is CO8 for the 9th slot. Click OK. Go to View Current Config, and you can see that the shared to vanilla has now pointed the appropriate files from 00 to 08. So we're going to Control A to select all, Control C to copy, go back to our Kazuya folder, right click, new text file. We are going to name this config.json. We will delete the txt extension, yes, and we have our config.json. It's important to click View up here and enable file name extension so that you can see the file extension, in this case JSON. You're going to right click Edit with Notepad++, or you could open it with Notepad, and we are going to paste, or Control V, what we just copied from CSK's site. Control S to save and close. And now we are done with our mod. We need to do this a modification to the CHARA UI CHARA DB file. I'm going to provide a copy of a vanilla CHARA DB file, but you can find this in your character select screen mod if you have one. Some skins come with it. You should only have one active at any one time, so if you get a conflict error here loading this later, you have a CHARA DB file floating around and you need to go find that and remove it. So here is our CHARA DB file. In order to open and modify this, we need PRC Editor. So through that link I have in the description for PRC Editor, we are going to download the executable version of that. And from here, PRCEditor.zip. We'll download this. Open this. We will extract the contents to PRC Editor folder, and opening this, you'll see that you'll see the contents, but we're actually missing a file. So head back over to the description and follow the labels link. The labels link takes us here. Click the green button code and go to download zip. Download that somewhere convenient. We're going to open this zip up, and we are going to navigate to paramlabels.csv. Drag this out and drop it inside your PRC Editor folder. So this file now resides in the same folder as our PRC Editor and its accompanying files. You can now open PRC Editor. The labels file essentially tells PRC Editor the proper names of the files within UI CHARA DB. So we need to navigate to our CHARA UI, our UI CHARA DB folder, and the file path should reflect this. So it's root, UI, param, database, and finally our PRC file. So open that. Now expand the directory tree on the left pane. Each folder represents a character for the most part. So we have, this is Link's CHARA folder, and Samus. And we need to find Demon for Kazuya. Everything here is named after the internal names as well. You can scroll down with the arrow keys and hit enter to view each slot, each entry. There's Kazuya, almost the last one. So if we expand his folder out, as we can see, this is Demon. Expand his folder out. We're going to go to color_num, hit enter, and it will take you directly to that value within Kazuya's folder. Alternatively, you could simply just scroll down to it once you've opened his folder, and you see it right here. And we want to change this value from 8 to 9. This tells the character select screen how many slots this particular character gets. So in this case, it's going to go from 8 to 9 slots. We're going to go to File, Save. We're going to overwrite our old UI CHARA DB file. Click Yes. We can close this. In the event the character does not work, if it crashes, the skin doesn't render properly, you want to get rid of it, go back in here and change the value to, and you'll need to change that value to 9. Or, I'm sorry, you'll need to change that value from 9 to 8. Make sure it saves there. Okay. With that done, we're ready to move these files over. So we're going to hop back over to the switch, and we're going to jump over to FTPD, which is wireless file transfer for the switch. If you don't have this set up, you can use you can simply pop your SD card out, place it in your computer, and copy your files over that way. So on my switch, I already have the database file here, the PRC file. You're going to use this same file every time you add a slot for a character. You can only have one of these on your switch active. As you can see, this is my ultimate mods folder, and it sits within this directory. So we're going to replace that with the version that we just modified. So it should have this same file directory set up. We're going to delete this. This is our old one, and we are going to replace it with the new one here that we made changes to. So here's the PRC file we just modified with the 9th slot edition for Kazuya for Demon. And now we need to copy over the Kazuya skin, Boros White, to the mods folder. So Ultimate Mods, Kazuya goes right. The Kazuya Boros skin will go right to the mods folder. Make sure that your folder, you're passing over the root folder that just contains the files for the fighter. And with those two files copied, we are ready to go load Smash up and try this skin out to see if it works. Actually, should have closed this first. So we'll reload the game. It should prompt to load a new mod, which would be the Kazuya skin. As it has, new mods have been detected. Would you like to enable them? Click yes. Okay, we're back. The game is loaded. And we'll see if this skin works out. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes, like Marth, appears translucent. Or with Dark Samus, it just crashes the game on match load screens. So, I have no idea if this works. But here's Kazuya. Takes a second to load the textures once I've started the game up fresh. So we'll give it a second. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Boros White. So we'll select this. And just jump over to Bowser. See if it makes it past this screen. Okay, so far so good. And there we go. That's a working skin with extreme bloom, but it works. I'm not a Kazuya player, so don't expect anything fancy. But, yeah, we're good to go. If there was a sound file, I'm sure that'd be fine too. And again, if there is a config file, then you will need to follow those previous steps. I might do an example with a config file later if people are confused. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll include a link to the Discord server for Smash Ultimate modding that should be able to help out a ton if you have complications throughout the process. Thanks.